I'm sorry to say this in a dark way, but not all the people want you to win. And some of these people that don't want you to win are actually clients.
I see people who've been able to grow their audience, but they just weren't able to convert them into actual customers. How are you able to convert your audience into people who are actually paying you money?
I can build a $1 billion organization.
If I was stuck with my Instagram growth today and I wanted to get 200K, what steps would you advise me to take?
For me, it's one piece of content that is super valuable. Don't overthink it. No need for fancy edits. The value inside matters more. And when I started implementing this, that's what made me grow. That what made the content goes viral.
Hey, so we're just preparing for my next guest, Nabi Kayali. So Nabi went from a pharmacist to becoming a personal trainer. And he also went from 40,000 followers on Instagram to over 500,000 followers. And more importantly, he built a multi-million-dollar brand behind it. So in this episode, we're gonna share with you not only how to grow your audience and your followers on Instagram, but how to build a business behind it, how to build a funnel, and why funnels are so important if you wanna take your followers and turn them into customers. So join us for this exciting episode and comment and let us know any other guests that you'd like to have on the show. Thanks. Nabi, this show is about freedom. And more specifically, we like to show people the path, the journey that it takes to achieve each person's freedom, because it means something different to each one of us. So the first question I want to start with is, what does freedom mean to you?
Back then, one of my mentors told me something. So Nabi, in order to achieve freedom, there are 3 levels of freedom. And when we say freedom, freedom is not related to money. So you can find on the highest level of freedom, someone who has $1 billion and someone who has $1 million. So the first level is location free. So you can work from anywhere in the world with your phone, with your laptop, and still make the same outcome, whether it's in your personal brand, personal business, or big business. Number 2 is location free and time free, where you can travel to anywhere in the world and you just need to do some emails in the morning and that's it, the business runs. Now the third and highest level, which I aim one day to reach it, is location free, time free, and mind free. And when I say this, it's like you travel anywhere in the world, you don't check anything, you enjoy vacation with your family, Courchevel, Bali, whatever it is, and then all you need to do is meet once quarterly or once every half a year with the board members, and the business still runs and do the outcome. So for me, that is freedom. And now I can say confidently, I'm at the first level of it, which is location free. I can work from anywhere in the world, just from my iPhone or laptop, internet connection, and a seat of chair. I can do the same outcome, wherever I am.
Nabi, so you said it's location freedom.
Yeah.
Time freedom.
Location free, location and time free, location, time, and mind free.
And mind free.
Yeah.
Expand on the mind free. What do you mean by that?
Mind free. I mean, we're always into. So when you start a business, because I've been from a period of my life where all I had is 120 dirhams in my bank account to this level right now. So you're always till today, you're a lot working in the business rather than on the business. So when we reach mind free, it's basically you just need to cut off all the other decisions and make 1 to 2 decisions per year, like the guys who are at the top of the line, like Warren Buffett and all these people, they do, and then that's it. That's what they do. So it's more leverage work, more leverage decision, less decisions actually.
Because I have a similar saying. So I say, there are 3 types of freedom. One is financial freedom. Having money, I mean, as you said, it's not about the money, but money is important.
Yeah.
It allows you to make a lot of decisions that make your life easier. Second is location freedom. And location doesn't necessarily mean, what part of the world you're in, or if you can work from anywhere, which is part of it. But it just means, hey, if at 2:00 you need to spend some time with your kids, you can do that, right?
Yeah.
You can be anywhere at any time. And the third component also for me is mind freedom is important, but the way I put it is also doing something purposeful, something that you're passionate about, right? So if you have time and you have money, but you're doing a job or work that you're not like, then technically you might not feel, free because
Exactly.
you're like, money is, I know a lot of people in that situation. They have a lot of money, but they wake up every day asking themselves one simple question: what is next? Is this
Exactly.
it? Is this all there is to it? So how important is purpose in your book when it comes to the freedom?
When it comes to me, I've been doing all of this based on purpose. So if you ask me why you are doing all of this, and I remember, people don't know behind the scenes, but me and my brother, he has been since there, because I raised him. So I still remember 6, 7 years back, we took a video, and I keep all these highlights for me to show them one day to my kids or for whoever. And I was at a very low stage, and what's my purpose? Why am I doing all of this? Is it money? Because one time I woke up and I said, okay, Nabi, what's your goal when you are at the age of 35? So I set a goal by the age of 35, and I said, I'm going to have X amount in accumulation in money. And then I said, okay, what's going to change in your day? Let's say I give you $30 million today. Today, it's in your bank account. What's going to change? I said, I'm going to wake up every day. I'm going to have the same iced Americano that I do. Then I'm going to go walk on the beach. Maybe I live near the beach. And then I realized, no, I like the drive to the beach. Then I said, all right, so probably it's just a different house, but I'm still going to walk on the same beach, which I love here in Dubai. And then I'm going to have the best quality of food, which I already have to maintain my health. Then I'm going to go train at the gym, which the gyms that I train, even billionaires train at. So nothing changes in my life. And I'm like, okay, cool. So why are you doing all of this? And then I realized I have three main goals. So number one is that I believe that God gave me something, because I wouldn't say it's a talent, but he made me have the power to make a choice. Choice to sacrifice a lot of my young age to learn, to grow stuff. Why? Because I can help other families. How do I help other families? Not by donations, no, by building organizations and companies. So if I give a man a job, I'm helping his whole family. Because now one man is going to spend on the family, the mother and the father. So the bigger the organization, the more people I'm going to hire, the more people I'm going to help, and I'm going to reach. That's number one. The other purpose is that I want to build a school. And that school, I want it to be for all these young kids in the unfortunate countries, such as my country, because I'm Syrian, and other countries, that support the sports talent. So when you go to the United States, you're gonna find all these good basketball players, good football players everywhere in the world. And I believe because they built the infrastructure right for these kids. When you go now to any refugee camp, you're gonna find all the kids wearing Cristiano Ronaldo t-shirts, Messi t-shirts. Why? Because these players give them hope, because they can relate to the same story. And I want the school that would be built to give hope for these kids and to raise the next generation. Because I believe in the Arabic world, in the Middle East world, there are a lot of talents. There are a lot of smart people. And this school will be focused on the sports talent. So when you teach a kid sports when he's young, he's disciplined. Maybe he's not going to turn into a football player. Maybe he's not going to turn into a basketball player, but he's going to be disciplined. And he going to tap into a certain area of subconscious in his brain. He start learning, he start innovating, and he start building for the next generation. So I heard this one time, Jeff Bezos said, I built Amazon not because it's because there were people who built MasterCard and all these payment getaways and stuff. So he said, I'm building now Amazon for the next generation. And everything that I want to build it for the next generation. And that would give me fulfillment. And at the same time, I always also, the third purpose is that I don't want anyone from my family that they need anything. Maybe because of a movie that I used to watch back then, which is The Godfather, when I used to be a kid, but it's like, I want to be the godfather of the family. So I'm named after my grandfather. And then my grandfather is named after his grandfather. So I'm like, I had a conversation before my grandfather dies, and I'm like, there was a period of my life where I lived in Syria, and I asked him and I asked my grandmother, and I was like, there are all these big families in the city, but they all have mosques, schools, hospitals under the name. And they're like, why there's no one under your name? You're very well known when it comes to education. You were the head of education in the city. And he says, we didn't do it. And I gave him a promise that day. I was 12 years old. I told him, I'm going to do all of this, and I'm going to put the name on that map. And there are multiple scenarios with my dad, with my grandfather, where like deep inside me, I'm like, they will have to kill me before I stop doing this. And it came because of the love that they gave me, not the insecurities or the pain or anything else. So for me, that's purpose, to be able to give back to the world that I'm living in.
Yep. You've built today one of the biggest online fitness communities in the Arab world. And but I want to take a step back, because let me put it this way: like, I'm a big movie buff, but what I really love is studying movie structures. There's a guy named Joseph Campbell. He created this thing called the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
So the hero's journey is basically based on the structure that literally every single movie that you see today follows. So if you look at a movie like a Godfather, right, which obviously one of your favorites, and Titanic, totally different movies, right?
True.
However, if you actually study the structure, it's exactly the same. They follow the same structure. And here's why I'm sharing this, and here's why this is important in life. Every hero that you see in a movie, they're usually an average person in the beginning of the movie, whether Spider-Man or any other character, right? But then something happens in the movie that calls them to an adventure. And in that period, that transformation that happens, when you see this scrawny person who takes on this big monster and that journey, that's why we view him as a hero. I also believe in life. We all have that pivotal moment that we're called to adventure. Something happens in life where you're forced to come out of your comfortable zone and to go into this journey that creates a lot of uncomfort, but really allows you to bring out your inner hero. So for you, what was that pivotal moment where you said, you know what, I have to change my life. I have to change the course of my life and do something different and something much bigger than what I've been doing?
So I believe, yeah, as you said, but this pivotal moment comes into, so I believe every 2 or 3 years or even 1 year, this pivotal moment would come. And it all started, I'm going to mention the ones that comes to my head right now. And it started when I used to be in school. So I used to be from a middle family, but we had some financial constraints. But my family, and this is something I'm very grateful for my dad and mom, they put me in a school, which is a British school, which is among all the high income people. So, but I couldn't afford and do like the rest of them. And they sacrificed even for my younger sister and younger brother not to be at the same school as I am, because they put hope. And when you see this growing up, it kind of, you might not get it when you're a kid, but you get it now, and it fuels you even more. It's like they saw something in you and they sacrificed the stuff in you that you don't. So this is personal and this is a little bit emotional, but I'm gonna share it because I'm open book. When you find sometimes your dad is not getting new pants or new socks, just put you in school and keep that image. And when your mom is like, they're debating, is like, he's going onto this next trip, but this next trip with his friends is gonna cost us this much. But my mom is like, no, because my mom was always that type. Go experience, go, it's fine. Go first class, go business class. Do not be stuck where you are because you're bigger. And it all started when I was 10 months old, and they took me to the dentist, and I had my first tooth. And the dentist maybe made a joke at that time, but that joke gave my mom hope at that time. And the dentist told her, you know that he got his first tooth at 10 months old, I believe. He is the same as Napoleon Bonaparte. And she kept telling me this story. And I'm like, me growing up, me seeing all the sacrifice, they did, both of them, everything for me to reach to this stage. And then going through that route, getting into the university, same scenario. And that's what made me to start working at the age of 17, although they were against it. And they were like, go study. But I said, no, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna speak, all right? And that's where I started being a salesperson since I was 17 years old. You see all of that. You're like, that was, till today, that's the flame. I'm like, how I can't give, I need, like, I'm in a race. I'm in a race with, very honestly, like, I want to achieve as much as I can before they leave this world. Because I want to show them whatever you sacrificed was worth it. Sometimes I'm like, I'm tired, but people see me on the story. You wake up at 5 a.m., you finish work at 11 p.m., and I'm not talking about 1-2 days. I'm talking for the last 6-7 years of my life. How did you do that? Yeah, because my dad, since I was alive, he's working 6 days a week, 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., you wake up and he drives and he comes back. So for me to say, I'm too tired or I'm too soft for this, what that makes me, I can't look in his eyes. Although he's not requiring this, but deep inside me, how I can be a good father model, how I can be this. There is me to be the best. These were a pivotal moments in me to keep pushing. Now there are other pivotal moments that happened financially wise, and that was one of them. Okay, so there was a long path. I don't want to go through it, but I was working on and off, failed the startups, everything. And then it came to a point where I had no money. I needed a job. I graduated. So I worked as a medical representative, which is sales in the pharmaceutical industry since I studied pharmacy. And I worked for a full year straight. I was training people after my work as a PT because I started my PT career when I had my first client when I was between 18 and 19, first official personal training client. So I worked for a year. I closed like around 10 million dirhams in sales for my previous company. And then I came to, after a year, there's appraisal to increase your salary. And I told my manager and I told him, I want to increase my salary because all my other friends, they are at higher companies and stuff. So he asked me, how much do you want? And he said, I told him, 3,000. Like I closed sales and I take commissions, but like 3,000 on my base salary, on my salary. And he's like, 3,000? It's like the maximum we can do is 500. It's 1,000 if you're the best in the world. And I'm like, I charge, at that time, I charge 300 dirham per session for personal training, which take me 45 minutes. And you're telling me this? And since that moment, I decided that's it for me. And that's almost 1.5 years into the corporate world. And they said, that's it, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna hire myself, I'm gonna take all the risk, and I'm gonna take full time on myself, and I'm gonna take the full bet on me. So these are part of the pivotal moments. Now, there's another pivotal moment that happened, and I'm too confident to share it. I'm too vulnerable to share it, let's say, not confident, but vulnerable. And it happened recently. So on the 30th November 2023, it was one of the best months that I did so far. It was the last day of the month. And I'm like, I was sitting in my house. I've never experienced that much sales money in my life. And when I say this, like I jumped 3x in 1 month. And I'm like, with a closing rate of 80%. And I'm like, I had this belief in my head, reaching to that point. Like, when you sit deep inside you as a man, you believe in stuff about yourself, but you don't believe. So if you get to meet people and you tell them, will you be a millionaire or a billionaire and stuff? He would say, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I would be an athlete. I would be a champion. But deep inside him, like, I don't have what it takes. And at that moment, I realized something. Like, God put this idea in my head. Actually, if I can sacrifice a lot of things and I do the right movements, I can build a $1 billion organization. And I'm like, that hits me so hard. And I kept saying it. I said, I cannot remove the idea. It's same now when I walk by villas on the beach, like, it doesn't comprehend, like, by time I will not live there. Like, I tried to convince myself that I cannot do that, but it doesn't work. And the same idea of building a $1 billion company, which I might die before it, but I'm gonna pursue it, it didn't work out. And then I was in kitchen making coffee, and my dad came. And he was like, how was your month? Because he asked me this. And he's very proud of that. And I told him, you know what, Dad, I just realized God put a thought in my head that actually I genuinely believe I can build a $1 billion company. And for the first time in his whole life, we didn't have any conversation. First time he looked at me and he said, yes, you can. First time ever in my whole life. My father told me, yes, you can for something. Even when I started working, he told me, no, you cannot. First time ever. And I genuinely cried that night. I said, I'm gonna do everything. And when I reach to that point, I'm gonna do that speech and I'm gonna tell them I did it because my dad believed in me once in his lifetime and I will never let him down. And that's the pivotal moment. And whatever is gonna come rest is the future based on my actions and decisions that I'm gonna do. And I will sacrifice everything for that. These are the top pivotal moments I believe in my life.
I want to focus on the last part, which I think the important component is belief, because sometimes we say things and we say it to people that we love, but out of concern, they say, no, don't, that's crazy. $1 billion company? Forget billion.
He doesn't know.
$1 million company.
He doesn't know.
So it's rare when somebody pushes you. And even when it comes to fitness, right? I mean, you've trained a lot of people. I mean, fitness has the two most important ingredients to success, which is number one, pain and uncomfort. I don't care how much you like working out. If you really want to do it the right way and you want to get results, there's going to be a lot of pain and uncomfort that's involved. And number two is long-term results. It might take you, 6 months to get a result, to see significant change. Why do most people quit before they get to that outcome? the ultimate outcome they're after. And how do you even stop that?
First of which, you stop that by having more control over the emotions and measuring what is success is like. And a lot of people, when they try to work on something, they work on stuff that they don't enjoy the process out of it. So recently this happened so I started delegating a lot of stuff because I'm growing team, moving on to a new venture and a new business, which is helping other content creators do the same thing that I did. And I'm like, I'm having more time and less work and less sales calls and less everything. And I was okay. So I started doing more activities. I felt bored. And I realized I genuinely cut off all my friends, everyone that I was seeing. And I'm like, 5 days in a row, I worked for like literally 15 hours. And I got very happy and learning, reading and stuff. And then I realized I do love my routine and my work. And the problem with people is that they don't build a routine that they love. So that's number one. Number two, because of everything that we're living in, we are constantly, we want stuff fast and we want instant gratification. So, and the route to build something that is really worth it is delayed gratification. So you need to sacrifice days and days and days. So people look at me right now and other people, I didn't have the blueprint. It took me 4 years in a row promoting myself as a fitness trainer to actually can be able to rely on it as a minimal wage income by itself. And that's the problem why a lot of people, they go into the business 1 year and they leave because they cannot. Now, I wasn't smart enough and I wasn't disciplined enough for that, but I had the chance to start doing this when I was in university. So I wasn't pressured by the other circumstances in life. But now as I grow and as mature, I realize that building anything that is big, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of sacrifice, and you have to do it. And one more thing, if you know how to reverse engineer anything in life, you can achieve it. So with my small, young, dummy, excuse all the big businessmen who's gonna watch this podcast, but with my dummy mindset reverse engineer, I'm like, okay, let me imagine I'm sitting right now having coffee. If I'm gonna build $1 billion company, what do I need to do? It doesn't mean that the company needs to make $1 billion in revenue. It needs to make $100 million in revenue. And I said, all right, based on the limited dummy experience that I have, to make $100 million revenue a year, how much is going to be a month? It needs to be $8.3 million a month. So if I'm going to make $8.3 million a month divided by 22, which is the working days, how many sales that I need to do? And you see all these numbers. And then I realize how many salespeople I need to do, how many sales calls I need to do, what's the program I need to sell, what's the service I need to do. And I built all this map. And I'm like, then you reach to a number where you just need X amount, one rep. So you need, the number was like 72 reps. Each rep sell a program or a service for $10,000 X, which is, it could be a service in marketing or whatever. And they need to hop on 5 qualified calls per day. And when you go to that, I'm like, all right, good. Let me start with 3 people and make them go on these calls and then grow the team and grow moving forward. So when you reverse engineer stuff, even when it comes to transformation and losing fat, so people are always chasing losing fat in fitness. If you're gonna keep looking at the 15 kg of fat that you will never reach there, because there's ups and downs and there's life and there's people's death and there's breakups and there. So what you need to do is break. So what's the amount of cardio that I need to do per day? What's the calories that I need to eat per day? And these are the daily tasks. And you just create a daily tasks of non-negotiables, which is, I call it the law of unreasonable work. So what's the amount of work on daily basis that if you would do, it would be unreasonable for you to not achieve this fat loss or not to grow your personal brand or not to get 100,000 views or not to get to that mind. And that's how I personally do it. And it gives me also fulfillment when I achieve my targets every day. And I don't worry about the end goal. I detach myself from it.
Got it. So basically don't think about the end. Think about what you have to do now to get to the end goal.
Yeah,
the
but
first step.
Yeah, but you need
have
to
a
reverse
plan,
engineer.
And have a plan on how you're going to achieve there.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good advice, because most people they look at the end and they calculate how long it would take to get there, and automatically dismiss that that's even possible for them, because they're like, well, let's be realistic. I'm not able to. I haven't worked out 2 days in a row for the last 2 years. Now you expect me to work twice a day. But what they'd realize is just spend 10 minutes, just do the first task, just get into the habits. And only then you'll see, small little steps. And when those little steps turn into small results, those small results turn into belief. It gives you more belief. And now because you have a little bit more belief, even though you're not where you need to be, then all of a sudden you're going to be more motivated and more inspired to take a bit more action.
Yeah.
And then you take more action, and then again you get a bit more results, and then so it's almost like a flywheel, right? And this is something that I've seen in business and life in a lot of different components, but most people don't even take enough action to get that first initial results. Now I want to go back to building an online community. Obviously, you build a massive community and you've done it in a short period of time. So if someone watching this today and they're like, you know what, I too have something I'm passionate about and I want to go out and build a community around it. What is your advice? What are the first initial steps that this person should take in order for them to get on that journey?
So advice number one is that, and a lot of people fall into that, is that you just need to start and you need to document rather than create, especially when it comes, because now I'm talking about content, let's say, creating your personal brand. So you just need to start documenting. If you go back 5 years back, I didn't have the money enough to build a mic. So we had this wire mic and I used to run on it, and it's funny. And the videos are still there. The videos are still on my Instagram. So you need to document, start, and the personal brand, the niche is you. The niche is you. So you don't need to dress like someone. You don't need to talk like someone. You don't need to do something like as someone. And the reason of my growth, and I'm going to say it right now, is the authentic creator style. It's like now everybody in the United States, even here, who are authentic creator, no edits, no fancy edits, just opening the camera, just speaking to the camera and giving value. That's all it takes. Now, deep in each one of us, in any industry, we have value, we have experiences. I don't have the same experience as Nido. Even let's say I was in a parallel universe, I go into the same mindsets and seminars, whatever it is, masterminds. I'm not Nido. Nido had multiple experiences when it comes to his family that shaped him, hardships. When you share that value with people, people will get something out of it. And then slowly, you give. And then you start asking the people. And when you ask the people, you're asking them to put a trust in you to give them more value. So they did a study when it comes to any ads. So you need to give, so even when you grow, even now, and I faced this, so you need to give 3 valuable contents, 3 value for free, and then ask for 1 thing. So you cannot just always put call to actions. You need to put call to actions, but 3x the value always. So that's number 1. Okay. And then the more they always, this is something that I missed, is that it's not about planning, it's about rather doing. Okay. And also they need to, how can I say, document everything on a Google sheet or something, and they split test. So sometimes we split test certain words, certain keywords, certain content. So I post this one content, same message, same keywords, same time, same everything. Copy paste the video. We just changed the scenery from me running to me lifting. And the me lifting one made 80,000 views. The me running one made 6 million views. And I said, all right, let's test again the running with another keyword. And it worked. And then I realized, all right, there is a lot of data. When you start doing more often, when you start making volume, is that where you know what's the product you're going to sell, how you're going to sell it, and how you're going to grow it. So honestly, they just need to start.
Now, when it comes to data and when it comes to really monetizing to the next level, is this advice you would give to somebody who's just starting, or should they just focus on just output, just putting as much content out there as possible? And then once they have reached, let's say, 50 pieces content, 100 pieces, now they can start to split test, things like that.
Of course. So when they start, and I even gave this to my best friend, I gave him this advice. I told him, yeah, you have an amazing body. You used to tell people you're a fitness trainer, but right now you're not. You're in a job and you didn't post anything. So you cannot just post today, yeah, I'm hiring people. People are like, okay, probably this guy is jobless. One day he wanna work in fitness. One day he's back in another something. So I told him you need to post at least 15 to 25 pieces of content, just giving free value. Because at the end of the day, this is the thing that people believe. Now, if you ask anyone who is Nabih from my followers, he's a coach. But they don't know that I have a diploma in watchmaking or watch essentials. They don't know that I started a micro-influencer platform when I was 23. They don't know all of this. They don't know I used to work in sales. So they see what's in front of you. So whatever you want to market and give to them, they're going to get it. So, but they need time to digest this content, especially right now. So I would say anywhere between 50 to 25 pieces of content, and then you start putting some call to actions. You start asking people, and you start working with, you start working with less people with less cost, and then you start building up either the cost or the number of people, and then you know where there is. So it's a business model. For example, in coaching, there's the high ticket, there's the medium ticket, and low ticket. And then you decide which one you're going to work based on your systems, based on the content that you're going to provide, and based on everything else.
Can you give us an example of what you say, what you mean when you say lead with value? Because somebody might be like, okay, what's valuable to me? I mean, I know this and I know that, but what would you define as a valuable piece of content?
So a valuable piece of content is something that solves a problem for the person or reminds them of a solution for an existing problem that they forgot about. That's how I believe. So it's all about a problem getting solved. Business, content, advice, friend to a friend is like, I have a problem and I have a need, but I don't know how to fix this problem or do this need. And you can either help me remind myself of an existing solution in my subconscious or teaching me something new. That's how it is. So it could be, I tell them, like yesterday, I posted a video about how you can relieve bloating just by drinking 2 cups of green tea. Now, there are millions of ways that would work for people and it wouldn't work, but I gave them free value. I'm not asking anything for return. This is a free value. You want to use it, just this worked with me. Might not work with you. So also the way that you say the content. So if I say, Nido, in order to make 10K this month, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4. He's like, what the hell? I just made it with 1 client. Why I need to sell 500 clients? So I would say, as if I'm posting a content, I would tell people, Nido, to make $10,000, here is what made me $10,000. I'm sharing just my experience. This works with me. All right. So I always tell them, I lost 9 kgs of water weight and water retention doing this. I, not someone else. And later on, it's my client because I coached him. But it's not, you need to do this to do that. And then, because people is going to say, why are you forcing stuff on me? That's another thing in value. When you give value, you just leave it there. I'm giving you an advice as a friend. You have a problem. You know, you don't know how to park your car, let's say. I would have done it this way. It's your call. You want to try, try. I wouldn't say you should and any other method is not working, blah, blah, blah. So that's when I say value. Either solves a problem, remind you of a way of how to solve a problem.
This is, why some people have a very hard time understanding that people are willing to actually not only pay, but pay a lot of money for knowledge, for expertise, for someone else's experience. So if you're in the fitness industry and you can help somebody lose weight, it's not necessarily you're a genius, and maybe you are, but it can just take 2 things. One is your experience. Maybe you at one point you are struggling with these issues and then you've solved it, and now there's somebody else that was where you were like a year ago or 5 years ago. They're there today, and you can give them a shortcut. Or secondly, you can just research about a specific topic and become, the person that provides. But what people don't really understand, I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, is that we're all on a same journey. If you're working with people in your niche, and let's say that it takes 20 steps to get to the end of that journey. You're at number 10. You might not complete the entire journey. And if you're at number 10, because some people have they feel like I'm not an expert. I'm not. How dare I charge somebody money for what I know? But they don't understand that if they're at step 10 out of the 20, even though they haven't completed the journey, there's still somebody at step 2.
Exactly.
And they're willing to pay money to solve the problems that they're going to experience step 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before they get to 10. If someone can ease their way to just get there. And when you get to step 15, guess what? Now you can also help people in step 11 and in step 12. But people don't realize that there's actually an industry they can make. They have this imposter syndrome. So
you just said it. I was about to say imposter syndrome.
Yeah. So now, one other question I want to ask is, you went from 70,000 followers on Instagram to 500,000 followers, 500 plus in about like 1 year, 9 months?
9 months.
9 months.
And now we're at a 5,000 follower per day growth rate.
So if I was stuck with my Instagram growth today and I wanted to get, to 100K, 200K, what steps would you advise me to take?
So what advice I would tell you to take, and that what worked with me. Yeah. So disregard what you hear out there on social media, which is you need to post a lot, post 4, 5, 6 pieces of content per day and etc. I believe in something that one of my mentors back then taught me, which is the guru Alex Hormozi. It's like, you need to build one thing so good that is so valuable to the people. So I post 1 post per day, that's it. Sometimes if I miss a day, I post the next day 2 pieces because it's related to motivation, so I do it. So you need to focus on giving value consistently. So let me tell you, for example, so the algorithm of Instagram, and that's how, because I'm an expert only in Instagram. TikTok, yes, I grow it, but I'm expert when it comes to Instagram. So you need to post one valuable content every day, super valuable, for 3 reasons. Number one, people who don't know about you might know about you in this first video. So it's always very important to give a high amount of value, nothing skeptical, nothing controversial. Number two is for your existing audience, for them to be warmed up more and trust you even more, because you're actually giving, not just like all the other content creators out there who just started and they just want to give, like honestly, I see these TikTokers and stuff in real estate industries and any other industry, in fitness industry, they're just posting content. Like you talk in HR management. Why are you posting about Dubai Metro plan in 2020? Is just because it's gonna go viral? All right, cool. It went viral to me. That doesn't mean because I enter you and I don't see valuable content. You know, so you need to give valuable content in your niche. Number one, to let new people think that you're trustworthy. Number two, warm up your existing audience. Number three, for the warm audience to say, okay, we can trust this guy. We can buy his coaching services, product, whatever it is. All right. So for me, it's one piece of content that is super, super valuable. Don't overthink it. No need for fancy edits. The value inside matters more. And when I started implementing this, that's what made me grow. That what made the content goes viral. You get me what I'm saying? And all the content that went viral was something that is authentic and original, not just copy paste. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, when I see a viral content in United States or here, yes, I reframe and rephrase the words. But yeah, that's how it worked in a crazy, crazy way. And then, okay, you gained the follower. What's next? So in the last month, I gained around, I don't know, 90,000 followers. Okay, cool. They're cold. They don't know me yet. So now it's time to warm them up. I cannot just knock on their door. Hey, you want to lose 6 kgs in 6 weeks and pay me the X amount? He will say, I don't know you. So I need to warm them up. And now when they warm them up, we give a lot of free lead magnets and free value on the privates and on the DMs and all of that. And then they're like, okay, this person I can't trust. Let's see what's next. That's my advice.
And when you say post, is it a story? Is it a post on your
a post on my feed.
on your feeds?
Yeah.
And is it video post? Is it just a picture? Does it matter?
So it does matter, but depends on what the audience take a perception of you. So people got used to reels with me, not images, not stuff. All right. So you need to know which what do you shine with. Are you a good speaker in front of the camera? Or you can open a camera and do it. Fortunately, I am. So it worked with me. Other people have, for example, in the fitness industry, amazing bodies. So they no need for them to talk. They just post their picture, and it worked really well with them. Other people, they like to talk more on story, and then so it depends. And some people just try posts, and some people just like as for example Matt Gray, if you know him, like this guy just draws stuff on his notebook and just share them, and it gets like I don't know how many shares and how many likes. So it depends. And you can split test, of course, like you can do all of that. But then I realized reels work with me the best. It's not about the reach. Some people are now with the carousel posts. I never tried this now because if something is working, why do I need to try another thing? So I stay to it and keep it working.
Nabi, one thing I've seen people struggle with is this. I see people who've been able to grow their audience, but they just weren't able to convert them into actual customers. So, how are you able to convert your followers, your audience into people who are actually paying you money?
So we made the value, we built the value, we gave it to them. We need to build a lead generation system, and we need to make it easier for this prospect from a cold to transit to warm, and warm to be a prospect, and then prospect to, let's say, potential client, and then or potential lead, and then a customer. So you need to make that so smooth, and you can do that through funnels, through call to actions. But number one, so let's say now I have 13 coaches and content creators before I launch my systems. It's not a program and it's not a course. It's actually systems that we need to implement as a software. But the whole idea, these 13 people, they were in the beta group. What actually we did is like, number one, I tell them, so there are 3 stages. Number one, we're going to build you your offer. Before anything else, before posting content, before building your personal brand, before doing anything, I want you to build your offer, your service, your product that you're building. And when we say you build it, so you name it, you tagline it, you give the guarantee on it, how you're gonna deliver it, how you're gonna maintain it, how you're gonna follow up on it, all of this. Once this is done, because you're gonna build this maybe one time. And I always refer back to the example of Apple when they launched the iPad very fast and they didn't put a calculator on it. 10 years forward, they still don't have the calculator until recently. Now they're going to launch it. So the moment you build the product, it's really hard. You will be so busy with content lead generation because you're one person. Or maybe you're a small team of 5, but still. So first of which, we need to build you that product and you need to test that product. So the best way to do that is sell before you create. So if I come tell you, Nido, I'm going to train you for free, this is the program, you will not commit because you need a sense of pain in it, as you said. So you need to give money, a little bit of money, so that I be accountable for you, you be accountable for me, and then we achieve that. So the best way is to sell before you create. So you create a vision of it, you create the product, you be very honest with the people. Hey guys, let's say in the fitness industry, I'm starting to take on clients. It's gonna be at 40% the rate or 50% the rate that I will usually charge. It's gonna be limited to only 5 or 6 people. And then you focus on the next 3 months, which we spoke about. You need to delay the gratification. You need to shut down your following, so seeing people living this luxury life and making money. Because if you rush making the money, you're going to lose your reputation and you have only one name in your life. You cannot change it, okay? Unless you go to speak in another language in another country. Build that offer really well and then scale the hell out of that offer. So number 2 is actually the lead generation system, which comes through personal brand, number 1. It comes through content, it comes through warm reach outs, cold reach outs, and all the other systems that you already know. And then the last thing is training you on how to sell. And when I say sell, people think, okay, no, I don't want to be a salesperson. It's evil. No. What is selling? It's me showing you value and helping you make the better decision. So when I say I charge X for this program, but this program is giving you 10X or 12X the value on the long run, you're going to spend, let's say $1,000. You're going to spend $1,000 on coffee in the next 6 months. I guarantee you. But because you saw good value in the coffee on the long run, you didn't see good value in my program or whatever it is. So I need to show you exactly what are the range. And that's why I personally believe in the coaching services. You can't just sell it as a one-off time product. I don't believe in that. So I don't do low ticket products. I don't do the medium ticket product. I just do high ticket, and I insist the person, before I get into coaching him in health and fitness, they need to hop on a consultation call with me, and I see if this person is my ideal client. If you come up to me, you tell me you're going to compete in Ironman, I don't know how to train you in Ironman. I will tell you no. Even if you will come tell me, there is a big chocolate brand here. So this happened last week. One of the big owners reached me out and he booked a call with me, and he said, no, I want the call with you, not with somebody from your team, and I want to train with you. He's 50 years old. He's not into tech. He's not into software. So for me to track all your workouts and track all your diet, I use softwares. He said, no, I just want you to send me a PDF. Cool. PDF will not do you anything. You will not commit based on the 6,000 plus clients that I worked with. So what will happen? You will never say that I didn't commit because I didn't implement the system. Nabih's system don't work. And Nabih ruined now his name. So I told him no. And he was like, I'll pay you double. He'll pay me $6,000 for 3 months transformation. I told him no, because it's going to put a lot of load on me and my team, and it will damage my reputation. So you need to say no, you know? And that's sorry, we spoke about everything, but that's the sequence. Just build with the offer first.
Okay. Of course, offer is very important, and without an offer, you really have nothing to sell. Earlier, you mentioned you had one of the offers you made, had an 80% sales conversion.
Yeah, that's the conversion of me personally. My team, we have 60% closing rate.
Yeah. I mean, look, as you know, in the industry, I mean, you get 20 to 30% consistent conversion rate. You're getting high fives and bonuses, right? But to get even 60 and 80, obviously there's got to be a method behind the madness. So can you walk us quickly, through how are you able to convert such high converting rates?
So number 1 is a sales script that I wrote, which shows the value and shows the transition phase. So I used to follow the closer framework back then, but I realized the closer framework is not doing. So I related on something based on myself. So I'm like, Nabih, you come from a very like financial constrained background back then. Growing up, even now you have money, but like you will not spend on anything. Like you live a very basic life, nothing. Doesn't mean you're cheap or you're constraining your, but you value what you built. Would you pay money for yourself if you would hear that value? And then I build the sales script of this so that I really show the value inside of what I have. And you know what? While building that script, I realized that we lack a lot of value and I started adding that to the service. That's number one. But when it comes, let's go from the top line. So, first of which, the funnel, qualification. I have my product or my service is for X would a person that is making this much, that's his age, but will be able to pay it? No, I don't lose my time. So we go on top qualified calls. At first, when I used to hop on all the calls, I'm like, maybe because I'm a good salesperson, maybe because I was doing this since I was 17, but I realized no, it's not only because of that. Anyone can sell, but there are in the United States, people are better than me. But it's qualification, number one. Two, it's personal brand. So, and that's why I realized why brand is really, really important and why your reputation is really, really important. And what you show to people is really, really important. A lot of these influencers in the health and fitness space, coaches in the health and fitness space, and other spaces as well, they share way too much of their private life, which for me, I'm associating stuff with them. So you don't need to share with the parties that you go. We're all full of sins. We all like to travel and party every now and then. But you need to just share, you need to play the personal brand to the max. So I'm just fitness, I just post about fitness. My close friends list has everything on it. I don't share anything else. So now I will start posting about how to make money online stuff, blah, 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 because that's my next service. Maybe I know how to do 10 other things, but I'll never share them. You get me? I know how to build very good automations, but I will not go as the automation guy. You know, I write everything this. I'm going to help them with that. So I believe because they share also too much, so people start associating them. And I'm sorry to say this in a dark way, but not all the people want you to win. And some of these people that don't want you to win are actually clients. And they're like, he's driving that car, he's living that life. Why would I pay him that much? Other people might tell me, no, you're wrong. The more you see you are living that life, no one would come to you unless they're willing to pay. No, I realized it's the exact opposite. And all the people that we work with, majority of them are 30 plus, they're high-level corporate, CEOs, entrepreneurs, whatever. So they have the money. But they come to you because they see value. They say you're willing to put the sacrifice with them, and you're willing to be accountable for that. So one of the stuff that I insist on and made my service shine is not because I'm the best fitness coach in the world, not because I'm the better. There are 100 people at least that I know from my circle that are better in health and fitness than me. But it's one thing. I made all the knowledge that I have accessible from them through fast communication. So I always used to tell them when I used to train them on my own, I used to tell them I reply to you within 1 hour max anytime you text me on WhatsApp. Now that took away from my life, but I needed this to grow the business.
You mentioned when you started your business, you started, or maybe not when you started, but currently you only do high ticket. I don't know if that's how you started or not, but you do
That's how
high
it
ticket.
started,
Maybe that's
yeah.
how it started as well. Now, regardless of what industry you're in, whether it's online marketing or relationship or fitness, you have options. You can start low ticket, you can start high ticket. If somebody's starting today, would you advise them to start at the high ticket level or low ticket?
So I would advise them, and this is what I did, to start as a value and as a service provided as a high ticket, but with a lower entry level.
Can you first like define what do you think is like high ticket? What price point are we talking
So
about? Low ticket.
let's
so people
speak about
understand.
health and fitness. So when you say low ticket, you can find these apps for $9, and this is nothing. That's also, sorry to say this, but trash. And you'll have the higher level, which is an influencer hiring people, but he is not seeing any of these plans. All right, and then you will find other ones which are just PDF, and then you will find the high level, which is accountability calls, which I will not sign up anyone before we do you a blood test, before we do you this, and then I'm not a doctor, so I'm gonna get a doctor in my team to check your blood test, and that high level of a service. And then if they text me. And that's a problem in the health and fitness industry. Sometimes they reply after 1 week. Sometimes they reply after 3 days. Some of the coaches would ask, because that's the feedback, and I'll tell you how we get this feedback. Some of them tell them you can only ask me 1 time per week. So if I'm competing against that guy, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna make sure I reply to you within 1 day. That then 1 day became 1 hour because we built the right systems. People want communication. People want accountability. Anyone can go on a keto diet, eat just veg and chicken, and walk more and lose weight. Why are they signing up with coaches? They want the accountability and coaching. I can read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I can read 100 Million Leads. I can read all these books. But why do I hire mentors? Because I need accountability. And recently, because I want to go and tap into LinkedIn, I hired a LinkedIn coach and I paid so much. And then I realized it's just a school community. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to ask for even, but I'm like, I didn't do anything. 2 months, we didn't do anything. I hired you for accountability. So you probably need that accountability. So how do we know this and how do we grow our service better? Is that every month we do a mystery shopper, and that has been for the last 2 years now. I sign up with the coach under 1 or 2 names, different coaches, and we see what's their service and we see how to make our service better. And there are people actually that uses better softwares. There are people, but like when it comes to fast, responsive, and I'm always there with you and stuff, that's the best. Because there are some very well-known bodybuilders and they are coaches and they coach high ticket, but whenever they have a competition, they don't reply to anyone. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a business person. I want to grow my business. You can call me at any time. If I can't pick up, I'll call you. That's if you are with me. If you're one of my coaches, you call that coach.
Personal branding. What would you say are the 3 key ingredients to building a valuable personal brand in today's social media?
Number 1, I said it earlier, you are the niche. So what is Nabih? Nabih likes to speak about business, likes to train, likes to eat. I'm a big foodie guy and cook. That's me. I'll show people this, you know? And how do I wear? So you live that personal brand. You need to be yourself. So I always, when I meet new people, when I'm trying to find the wife that I want to marry, I always, first meeting, I tell them, I have 2 styles. It's either this or I wear a chino and a loro piana. That's it. I don't have any 2 styles. So if the restaurant will not let me in with my shorts, or wouldn't mention brands, but like comfy clothes, I will wear the other thing. I don't like to wear jeans. I don't like to wear this. I like comfortable shoes. I don't like, for example, Air Jordans, let's say. I like running shoes. And that's me. So I live that personal brand everywhere. And I even said, honestly, let me see if I'm accountable for my word. That if one day, maybe next year, they invite me to 1 Billion Summit to do a speech on growing the brand, I said, I'm going to be honestly, and I'm going to tell them how to build a personal brand. I'm going to be wearing my shorts and t-shirt. And I'm going to present, because I want people to look at the value and the personal brand associated to it. And I realized one of the reasons that my content grew is that there's no other person in GCC right now, in my space, Arab, that would shoot a video, selfie, running shirtless, and shouting at the people. It's like me. That's my personal brand. So that's literally me. I like to do this. So why do I need to fake it and sit in a setup and do all these? I don't want. So be the niche, number 1. And give value to people, and please be careful with what you share. Please be careful. Don't associate yourself with the stupid stuff, because it really affects. And once you ruin the reputation once, that's it.
And then the third one?
There's no third one.
Consistency, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Of course, this is you need to give the content.
Consistent. Yeah, the funny thing about personal brand is, I mean, the name in itself is telling you the answer, right? Personal brand, like it's about you. But what I see most people do is they would assess what other people are doing. Like maybe they look at a Gary Vee or Anas Bukhash or all these other big personal brands on social media, and then they try to copy what they're doing, but they don't understand the alignment between the content they're creating and who they are. But as you mentioned, it's like, first you have to assess, what are you about? What value are you bringing to the marketplace? Why should somebody listen to you? And a lot of time just comes because you're authentic and you're sharing your stories. And it's not about going to the masses. It's about attracting people who connect with you and your story and what you're about. Yet most people think the answer is to figure out who to copy. I see people, and you can listen to it, right? You can see it. Like sometimes I listen to somebody's content and I'm like, it's almost like an actor acting a role, but that's not them. And it's so obvious. And the easiest thing is to just be authentic, as we mentioned, and just share your personal journey and have whether it's 5 people or 50 people or 5,000 people, have those who resonate with that connect with you.
Yeah, I agree, totally agree. So Gary Vee, Anas, Daniel G, or Mozi, whoever it is, they are sharing what they did.
Yeah.
So that's why they suffer from less imposter syndrome. you know, so they're sharing the value. So there's no one doing Anas style, there's no one doing Hormozi style. And I genuinely believe like even Hormozi is like he's playing that role to be a niche.
Yes.
I don't believe he likes to wear tank tops all the time, you know. I don't believe, but like that's his personal brand. He's living it to the max. And he always says like, I'm just sharing what worked with me. It might not work with you. The same thing, everything. Like, uh, uh, frankly speaking, right now I want to start this helping the content creators and stuff. I will tell them there is a max cap. I can help you to this. More than this, I don't have the knowledge to help you. I don't have the systems to help you. So you need to be always, me too. If someone comes tell me I want to compete on the stage of bodybuilding, I cannot. I want to do CrossFit competition. I cannot. You know, I can help you lose 10 to 15 kgs in the next 3 to 6 months, build a dream body. You can travel and you can eat flexibly. You can be invited to sushi dinners and you're good. And I can optimize your health to be similar as me. More than this, I cannot do, you know?
Let me ask you this question. I'm in corporate today. Let's say I want to transition. Maybe I want to be a coach. Not necessarily fitness, but I might be good at relationships, or I might be good at helping parents raise more confidence, get whatever my superpower is. How would you guide me into helping me, you know, find my niche, and then from there build a lucrative business that gives me freedom?
So number one, if you work in corporates, probably there are a lot of influential factors on you. Number one, it's really hard for you to grow a personal brand because you might get kicked out of your work. And that happened with me. All right. So don't do that. So you need to be very smart about the moves that you're going to take. Now, which niche you're going to go to it? I was helping a friend in the last 3 weeks that he's going to go. And he's not good on camera. He told me, I'll never do content. But then we recognized something. I knew all of this because he's my friend from 10 years. So I asked him this question. I told him, what is the one thing that you do with least amount of effort? And what is the one thing that always people ask you to do? Because the people that always ask you to do one thing for them, you can actually start charging them for them. And he said, I help them get jobs. And I said, here you go. In corporates, yeah, to go into the big 4 companies and stuff. I said, here you go. I told him, but he told me I cannot do content. I told him, calm down. All right, I'm not asking you to shoot videos. I'm not asking you to go on Instagram and YouTube yet. But how many people you got on LinkedIn? He said 4,000 people. Did you post a picture? No, I post articles. Cool. You got 4,000 warm people right now. I can guarantee you, if you structure a good offer, which I helped him to do, you can actually get 10 clients in 6 weeks. And he's like, you just made me find what I know how to do, because he was struggling. I don't know how to do. He was telling me business planning. I told him, let's calm down a little bit. You can't do business planning. Being in a tiny role in a corporate not make you make a big business plan. So that's how you can identify it. What people are asking you to do, that you do with least amount of effort, maximize over it, package it, start selling it to people.
Yeah, it's a similar question that I ask people. I call it the $5,000 question. I say, look, if I had $5,000, and this is my last $5,000, my family's life depends on it, and I gave it to you so that you can help me grow it, what is the one thing, one key skill that you have that you will utilize this for? So for example, if I gave this 5,000 to Beyonce, she would sing a song because that's her superpower, right? If I gave it to Cristiano Ronaldo, he'll do something in football because that's a superpower. Like if I gave it to Cristiano and he plays basketball, he loses, the money goes down the drain, right? So this is one way to help people. All right, I know I can do 15 things, but if someone's family depending on it, like what is that one thing that I can provide? And usually it starts to get them thinking in a frame of mind that, it limits them to that one thing. So it seems like you kind of lead into that same objective.
Yeah.
And the second thing is to build an audience. So sometimes people already have an audience and they're like, well, what do you mean? I don't have social media. I don't have LinkedIn. No, you have a contact list on your phone.
Exactly.
You can just go through that, and I'm sure there's somebody. But the problem is, people are afraid to make an offer, and it comes down to rejection, right? So how does someone overcome the fear of rejection?
So how do they come? The fear of rejection is by getting more rejection at work. So chasing the no's. So, and in anything, I might be good in sales and business, but I'm bad at other stuff in life. So I said, if I'm going to get that outcome, I need to chase more rejections, and I need to ask for it. So one thing is actually just start asking your friends. So I'm like, back then when I used to be a kid and I used to tell them, would you pay me for personal training? Look at your body. F off, you know? It's like, yeah, I started getting it. And then it started when I posted the content. People write me comments and bad comments. And now I don't read even the comments. So they need to make peace with the rejection, and they need to make peace that not all the people is gonna like them. And they need to start looking at rejection as data. So if 10 people don't like my product, probably my product is not good. But if 3 people don't like it, 7 people like it, well, cool. That's how it is. Now, with everything that we're going on social media, you mentioned a very important topic. Like, I don't have an audience. It's your contact list. If I would have told my friend, you would do a speech in front of 4,000 people, I swear to you, he would have wet his pants. You know, like he couldn't go on the stage. It's the same thing. People tell me I'm getting 2,000 views. I told him, just imagine you're in a room with 2,000 people. He's like, damn. I say, exactly. And the people that I am helping right now, some of them have 2,000 followers, 3,000 followers. And they're actually making better money because people are trusting them more because they can reach them more. I have a problem. I'm telling you, I have a problem right now. I need people to reach me better because they say this guy have over 500,000. He will not reply to us. No, I will. Not me. Maybe a boy instead, but we will reply. Reach out. So I'm forcing now people to reach out. When I started, I wasn't forcing anyone to reach out because they're like, he's a coach. I can reach him out. So there's always advantage at each and every stage. So there's an advantage for him that I don't have, and there's an advantage for me that they don't have.
Yes. I also was with the, the school of like every rejection is one closer to a yes, or every no is one closer to a yes. And I've done cold market. I've done vacuum clean in jobs, going door to door selling, cleaning someone's house for 2 to 3 hours with Kirby vacuums. Trust me, it's not fun when you do that for 2 3 hours and you still don't make a sale and when you're on commission only. But as I grew older, I realized, there was a slight mind shift actually that helped me accept, getting no's a lot easier and made me not even consider rejection as rejection, right? And let me frame it this way. If I gave you 100 envelopes and each of them had $1,000 in it. And I asked you to stand, on the corner of a street and try to hand them out to everybody that's walking by. If they don't know there's $1,000 in there, all people will be like, no, I'm not interested. Get out of my way. Is that going to make you feel bad?
No.
Because you have value.
Exactly.
Right? So when I realized, listen, I have something extremely, extremely valuable to share with the world. It can be a niche, it can be a specific market. And I'm doing it as part of my purpose to make an impact, not necessarily just to make a sale, not just to close somebody. But once I'm clear about the value and I'm clear about the outcome, honestly, it's like rejection just kind of evaporated from my system. I just never even felt it. So this is something where I feel like a lot of people just kind of tackle with because they feel rejection is personal, but it's not personal. In fact, when somebody says no to you, you're not the one who's losing. You have to feel like they're the one that's losing.
Exactly.
And then you should continue to get better and better so you can demonstrate your value better. And once you're able to do that, I think rejection doesn't even become an issue anymore.
Exactly. And that's what I tell even for anyone who is even in sales, even me, myself, I remind myself, is like the prospect needs you. You don't need the prospect. You're enough. You can have dinner tonight. You have enough money to have dinner tonight. So you're not starving for this money or whatever. You're not trying to sell him. You're just trying to tell him, listen, I have value that you need. Like when I go on calls, it's always like this. It's like, you have man deep inside me. I don't say this to the prospect. You have man boobs. I don't have. I'm good looking. You need it. I swear to you, sometimes when they send me their pictures, I'm like, if I had $10,000 and there was I would pay all my money just to get rid of this. How are they living? So you just need to just say, okay, if you didn't want, it's their loss. It's not mine. And you know your value. You be honest about your value. You don't over exaggerate about it.
Yeah. What do you say is the different stages of building a business, right? So somebody wants to start their business today. What should be their milestone? What's phase 1? What's phase 2? What's phase 3? Because most people, when they think about building a business, they just think, oh, this guy's making $100,000 a month. I want to make $100,000 a month. Or I want to make $10,000 a month. But realistically, what is the path look like? What are the key milestones that they should just focus on?
So that's a thing that I honestly learned from one of the mentors. It shouldn't necessarily apply to everyone, but like it helped me measure where I am. So there are 4 stages. The first stage is a freelance. So a freelance is you trying to figure out what's your offer, product, service, trying to build a personal brand around it, etc. Systems, maybe a little bit. You're still working just through WhatsApp and emails until you make, let's say, $5,000 a month. Okay, let's say, yeah, I wouldn't say in dirhams. Like say $5,000 a month, 5 to 7. You're a freelance. Then the next stage is a brand. So a brand could be your business. Maybe because you're a fashion designer, you start as a freelance and then you build a brand, and this brand, or you build your personal brand, for example, and that could reach to 30 or 40 or 50K USD a month. And then the next stage is actually business. And business, it could go anywhere between 100 to $300,000 per month as revenue, and then you have systems and team. And then the last stage is company and organization, which is up to $1 billion. So these are the 4 basic stages, and maybe I only know these 4 stages because I'm looking to reach to an organization. I don't know what's after that yet. So these are the stages. So first, as a freelance, you build that freelance once you know what you're good at. Because I know people right now, they're fitness trainers and they're agents and they're 3-4 things at the same time. You need to figure out one thing, build a brand on top of it, build a business on top of it, and then after that, yes, you can diversify.
When should somebody think about hiring for their business?
So it's basically based on demand. So if I can work 8 to 10, we're talking about freelancers. We're not talking about you as a very experienced businessman. You hire from the first day. But like a freelance, he started, then he saw there's a lot of demand, and now he needs to focus on content and systems and do this. And now his service is going down in quality because of him being scattered between other things. So he gets somebody to help. Somebody to help could be a personal assistant, a virtual assistant at the beginning. Then, all right, there are a lot of people DMing me. Perhaps I need somebody in my DMs. Then, all right, I'm having a lot of consultation calls or leads coming, but I cannot call all of them. I cannot reach out to all of them. I hire someone with me. And then it starts growing by time.
And do you advise for, when you're looking to consider who to hire, roles that are more aligned with sales and marketing versus other roles like accountant, HR, personal assistants? Like how would you diversify?
Honestly, for me in my business, they're equal. And I focus on systems better because if you do things on the top line right, the bottom line just follow. Salespeople, like you can always book people tomorrow and after tomorrow, yes. And sales is very important for the business, but then if you don't have the systems in place and you just gather checks, you will not be able to fulfill. It's going to damage you. So the growth rate is really also important. When it comes to hiring in general, I always focus on hiring A players. So let's say one of the coaches that I have do make around 15,000 dirham a month in total with commissions and all. It reaches to that. It's like I had the chance to hire somebody that I would pay him 5. But that 5, I hired him for the first 2 weeks. It was pure hell and headache. This coach is telling me actually how we can level our service better. Like he's helping me because I have limited mind capacity with everything going on, So hire A players. Hiring is all about guessing, but then I fire or I promote somebody is based on proof and KPIs and all of that. And I always look at hiring as a sales call. So usually people go on the sales call, I'm looking to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you're telling the guy everything that you want him to do, but he's gonna go back. I put them a problem. So I tell him, I'm struggling to do this. You have experience. What can we do? What can you do to me? And then you start exploring. And then I ask them for a plan. So now I'm looking to start my YouTube content, not to go viral as a content creator, but business content, fitness content, and stuff related to generating leads. And I need to hire, I don't know anything about YouTube. I need to hire somebody. So I met multiple guys, and the one that I chose, or I might choose, is somebody who has already an existing YouTube channel. So that's not only in hiring people, but also in hiring mentors or coaches. There are level of authorities. So I always look up to top 3 levels. Number 3 is somebody who did it himself. Number 2 is somebody who did it himself, help other people. Number 1 is somebody who did it himself, helped other people copy paste like me do it. So this guy, I asked all of them to send me a plan. What do I need to do? How many videos? What's the duration? What's the okay? The content inside is me, but what's next? Okay, cool. After that, do I have the time to build the presentations? I've been lagging to build them. I need to hire a copywriter and put him in the team with him, and then research. So that's how you like. That's how I believe it works.
You mentioned the word mentor a few times.
Yeah.
Why are mentors important in this line of business?
Mentors are important not only in business but in everything in life. Like even in the Roman Empire, they used to have mentors. All the kings, all the coaches, Steve Jobs had a mentor. Everything. So mentor is somebody who is experienced in one area that I'm not experienced at. Probably, maybe he's not. The problem with people is they look as a mentor as this guy is better than me in two things: in fitness, in shape, in business, money. No, it doesn't mean. And that's what people say. Okay, I go to business school and business university, these internet gurus, but I make more money than my doctor or administrator. It's like, yeah, but he's teaching you something about business planning that is very specific. Maybe he's not good at the other stuff. Maybe you have a good pump and promotion, but he doesn't. So sometimes you hire a mentor because he's good at one thing, because there is ignorance debt you pay. So now let's say I can grow my business to X, but I'm looking to do that $1 billion thing. But I cannot afford that mentor yet. So I need to jump stages and I need some people to. So one of the people that will help me grow my business, I met him. He wants $50,000 for the next 6 months. It's paid upfront because he's going to help people implement my system. And I'm going to go with it because okay, $50,000, cool, I'm going to pay it. It's a big chunk, but I'm going to make 10X in a year. So that pays off for me. And you said something about the envelope. So if I give the envelope to somebody, a poor person would say, would you buy it for me for 1,000? And you say, or 100? He would say, no, I wouldn't. What the hell? It's a white envelope. I would get a pack of it for $1. Rich people would ask me, okay, what's inside it? So that's the thing. People don't ask what's inside it. Who's this mentor? What am I getting? What is it in it for me? And very important. Mentors are very important. Sometimes mentors are just to break belief.
Yeah, I say there's always, there's only two ways to achieve anything in life. One is trial and error. And I think if anyone's consistent and determined, and they're willing to try and try and try again, they'll eventually figure it out. And the second way is figure out someone who's already done it, who's been there, and you just follow the blueprint that they've given you. Yet most people follow the trial and error path, and that's why they quit after the first or second try. Last question I want to ask you, well, two more questions, but somebody watching this, they're like, man, is there even money? What kind of money can be made in this industry where you can share your knowledge, where you can share your expertise with other people? I mean, is it a real business? Is there a real money in it? What would you say to them?
I would say that I break my belief every day. Last time is 3 days back when I met this guy, actually one of his closers, one of his salespeople, and they said they will charge me $50,000. And I realized these people are closing people on $50,000 on daily basis. And I'm like, there are people making $100,000 and $150,000 in my space, providing a service, not a scam. It's like, wow, you know that number? I need to make how many X's? And I'm like, I started feeling down for 3 days, honestly. I'm like, then I need to figure out how to reach to there. There's always this, like, the problem with people is that they didn't travel or experience new stuff. If people would go to Monaco, they would see a lot of money, and they're like, he has 2 arms and 2 legs and 1 head. He's me. I'm probably maybe smarter than him. How he did it? That's the story. But you mentioned something that's very important in the previous question, because they have limited beliefs in themselves. So they say, all right, we have time. They don't understand that time is more valuable than anything else. Like, if I can get to where I want to be at the age of 35, I could do a lot of stuff more. And they don't care about this stuff.
Right. It's like most of us are conditioned, all right, you go to college, then you get a job, and then you have this safe job for 30 years, and then you graduate, then you retire at 60, 65, then you get to enjoy life. But in your mind, all you see is like $60,000, $100,000 a year is like, the milestone that they're all striving to reach. But then you meet your uncle who makes, $10 million a year, but he's done everything the opposite of what your parents taught you to do. And you're just like, now you're lost. But most of us never even meet that uncle. Most of us never see someone else who's doing that. And if we see it, there's usually a catch behind it. We say, oh, because we were sometimes in some way, fashion, or form, we're conditioned that people who make a lot of money are typically evil. They're doing something wrong. How can you make $1 million a month or a year, and I'm making $50,000 a year? So something's got to be off. So yeah, I mean, I think finding that right environment, seeing other people who have done it, inspires that belief in you. So Nabi, that brings us to the final question that we ask on this show, and that is, somebody watching here today and they want to explore and they want to pursue their freedom. What's one advice that you would give to them to help them get on their journey?
What advice I would give them is that you can build any dream life that you want if you can imagine a self-image of your future self. And that the problem with a lot of us, even me, I cannot imagine a future self of myself because I don't know, and I'm uncertain, maybe I will be this or I'll be that. So the best way is to say to myself, if I am looking to be like Nido, for example, what did Nido do? Just imagine in my head to reach to this. And then in your subconscious, trust me, you're going to find some answers. And then you need to double down that you believe that. So I'm a man, and here's this other man in Monaco. We're both the same. What's the difference between me and them? All right, that's number one. Number two is that they need to choose a purpose in their life. So what's the purpose? So when we mentioned the level of freedom, you told me, yeah, but it's financial freedom. Cool, but there are a lot of people who have millions in their bank account and they're stuck. And I know personally a couple of football players that they can't eat what they want, drink what they want, travel where they want. They can't do anything. It's like, I don't want to be his life. I don't want to be in that case. No, I want to make that millions, but I want to still enjoy life. So you need to measure what's important and valuable to you. And the best way is to experiment it, highlight the journey. And if it doesn't work out, just document it and also share it with the other people. And just enjoy it and enjoy the process. And start implementing the dream life from today. So as I said, honestly speaking, give me whatever you're gonna give me. I'm still gonna drink the same iced Americano, eat the same food, spend time with the people that I love, do something that I really wanna do. So if I feel like doing content today, I feel it. So by the way, I don't force anything. So if I feel like doing content, I would do. If not, I would do something else because there will always be tomorrow. I would do the task at the end, but I will not force it. And the reason I don't force it, it comes out naturally in a flow state, because I'm a very flow guy, and it works. Once I force it, it doesn't get views. So just flow in life, but flow with a purpose, and try to reverse engineer anything that you want.
Awesome. Nabi, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Congrats on achieving your freedom, and thanks for the valuable advice to help our audience achieve theirs as well. Thank you, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother.